in the immortal, what was that movie? Brokeback Mountain. I'm gonna quit you. I'm gonna quit you. If you keep playing with my emotions like this, I'm gonna quit you.
I was not ready. I was not ready.
Hello, welcome to the Pitch Podcast. We are your hosts, James
and Stephanie.
Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we are passionate about good music and a great vocal. We'll use the vehicle of NBC's The Voice to give you our take and feedback on each contestant's performance and voice. Here on the Pitchy Podcast, we'll keep it 100 with our critique of each contestant's vocal and overall performance. But what we're never here to do is come for anyone's character, any contestant as a human being. Now, we may come off a little bitchy at times, if you know what I mean. We'll
struggle
do our best to speak our truths in love, kindness, and respect. And with that, let's get started with episode 3 of The Blinds. Season 26 of The Voice. The Voice.
Yes.
In the immortal, what was that movie? Brokeback Mountain. I'm gonna quit you. I'm gonna quit you. If you keep playing with my emotions like this, I'm gonna quit you.
I was not ready. I was not ready.
Because, you know what? Don't give me a mediocre show and then follow it up with a fabulous show. And
right.
You know what? You're always doing that, always playing with my emotions and Stephanie's emotions like that. We did this last season. We did this the season before. We did this the season before.
Yes.
I just need to remind myself. My short-term memory is sometimes not so good. I just need to remind myself that you do this to us.
Every season.
Oh, Stephanie.
Particularly in the blinds.
Particularly in the blinds. Okay, we got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
A lot. Because the good tonight were fantastic.
Fantastic.
So let's jump right in.
Okay.
And some of these I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach because I want to change it up for our viewers and listeners and take a different approach with some of these artists. I'm going to, of course, talk about voices as we always do, but I want to take why I think someone might have been a good choice for someone.
Okay.
Especially with our first artist. So,
who
do we have first?
So first up, we have our leak from Friday. We had Georgia Starnes, 21 years old, from Dallas, Texas, and she sang "Too Good at Goodbyes" by Sam Smith.
That's my bop right there. That's a bop. Isn't that a bop, Steph? That's a bop, y'all.
So good.
When those finger snaps come in that song, I'm like, that's a bop, right? Exactly.
Yes.
It's a bop. It's a bop.
Yes.
First, I love this song, and I made sure that I did not. I listened to it, but I really wanted to hear the whole performance before. So I didn't write any notes down. I said this was our leak. Mm-hmm. I said, y'all, people who are inspiring, who watch the Pitchy Podcast, this is an example of a perfect audition song. Perfect audition song. It was put together so perfectly.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of Maddie J. Like Maddie would do that with her performances.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
A perfect splicing to highlight the best parts of someone's voice. I said,
yes.
When I wrote, I said, I love the preparation I feel. And again, Georgia, I know you're a fan of the show, so thanks, Georgia, for watching. Georgia, I love what I feel like you put a lot of preparation into making this a very skilled or skillful audition.
It was.
I just felt it was very skilled what you did. I said, Georgia, you had us wanting for more.
Yes.
That to me makes the best audition. You're like somebody sitting behind a table, like, well, what else do you got? Because I want to hear more.
Right.
And that's what I felt from you, Georgia, what was so great. I said, we all know that Georgia has the traditional, and I use this in air quotes, pop star look. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Think of a
Mm-hmm.
traditional pop star. You think of Georgia's look.
Mm-hmm.
I said, which may be to her detriment. And I say that, Georgia, not as because you're stunning. You're stunning and you got a great look. I just feel in 2024, different is in.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as like style, right?
Right.
So I really wanted her to choose Gwen.
Okay.
I felt like that she would have worked with, not because Georgia, her voice is already magic, right? I don't think anything needs to be worked with the throat.
Nothing in the throat.
I think it needs to be a style that is
okay.
Because I feel like Gwen could have given her this style without over sexualizing her.
Okay.
You know
I like that.
So
yes.
That's why I say traditional pop look, because everyone knows what the industry is going to do with someone as beautiful as someone like Georgia. They tend to over sexualize it, which it doesn't need to even be like that, because Georgia's got a scary A voice. Like she really does. I said, and I feel like in 2024 vocally, it's about choices. And I feel like every choice that she made was a right one. That's why I said she's a smart singer who skillfully put together the perfect audition song. Can't wait to hear her in the future rounds. Huge pickup for who she picked, who she wound up picking, which I was shocked, but then I wasn't shocked because this person can pitch the HE double hockey sticks. He can pitch, okay, and I just 50% gave it away, but he can pitch.
Yes, he can. Yes, definitely. He can. Oh my goodness, this woman's voice. Now, this is interesting because I didn't hear this as much when I watched the initial leak. But tonight I was like, oh, she got a little bit of a smoker's throat.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is she's got like that grit, that experience, that maturity, that hurt, that pain. She got life in her voice. And that's what I heard tonight. And maybe I don't know why I didn't hear it before, but that's what I heard tonight. All the lines were finished, and they were finished in such a way that you actually made this comment, James, that her vibrato told the story of the song, which it 1000% did. Like, she is a star now, and I completely agree with what you're saying, though, about the style, because that's something that could just take her over the edge.
It can make or break an artist who is vocally already there, right?
Yes. And I love what you said about this audition, because it starts off just her voice and keys, I think. And which is so compelling because it's already like she sings the first line and you're like, oh. And then she sings the next line and you're like, oh. And that's like the beauty of the song. And then you get that snap. And then we're like, and then we in it. And then once she sang, but every time you hurt me, the less that I cry, and how her voice soared, I was just like,
yeah, that's a bop.
It was so good. It was just such a perfect vocal and a perfect audition, just like you said. But she got some smoke in her throat, and I want to hear more of that.
Let me tell you something that I didn't appreciate from another artist who did make it through, who we will talk about a little bit later. She also cleared up the smoke to give you like pure tones at times.
No, she did. Yes, she was not singing like that the entire time. You're absolutely right.
In my opinion, when someone sings like that the entire time, it at times sounds manufactured. And I felt another artist that did make it out through had an incredible voice, but I felt the voice was a little bit manufactured, because I was like, okay. I want to hear your voice. Take the grit out, because grit's your thing. I get it. But I know if you went to this school, they didn't teach you to sing like that. But
Oh,
I think
okay.
talking about. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So who did she wind up picking? I was shocked. But then I wasn't.
Snoop Doggy Dogg. She couldn't resist that necklace.
No, death row, baby.
And I wouldn't either.
And I wanted her, and that's why it was maybe a little shocked, because I wanted her to go with Gwen for the reason that I said a second ago. But huge pickup for Snoop. Huge. America's gonna love her.
Yes.
Okay, great. Who do we have next?
Next up, we had Edward Preble, 19 years old, from Fernandina Beach, Florida. And listen, his whole B-roll, I was like, we gonna hear some New York, or we gonna hear some Luck Be a Lady. And what do we have? Luck Be a Lady by Frank Sinatra. I knew it.
I said it was almost as if they're picking contestants to audition who have qualities of the judge. Now, you all see
we had to have one.
You all see that I'm talking like this, okay? I'm talking like this because Stephanie will tell you I was recently in a production of a show with this song in it. Okay? If you know the show, you know the show.
Yes.
And my problem is when you are doing a specific accent, as I'm doing right now, the accent is in the nuances. And I just think some people overdo it. And being that Stephanie is from this geographical area, she is very familiar with this accent. Okay?
Yeah.
So, when you're talking like you're talking and you're from Florida, but you're talking like you're from, a borough in New York, I'm just like a little suspect. He's like, well, I talk like this my whole life. And I'm just like, calm down. But he's a kid, I said, it's almost as if they're picking contestants. I said, "Oh, voice, what are you doing to us?" I said, "Ooh."
Yeah.
And then I started going back and thinking about previous seasons, and I was like, okay. So a lot of times they'll pick contestants who are in the genre or similar genres as the coaches, because it's more, it's not more prevalent. I don't think it can get any more prevalent than you picking Michael Bublé genre type singer, because it's all
right.
Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Rat Pack, I left my heart, Tony Bennett, I left my heart in San Francisco type of voice. And I was like, okay, you can already tell by the way this guy is talking. Like my problem is because I was in this production, and I find myself going into the accent of my character. My problem is when I was in the production of this show this past summer, Stephanie will tell you, I made it a conscious point to not do an over dramatization or an imitation of a certain person, which I believe made my performance probably one of the most authentic things I've ever done on stage, right? Because it wasn't a caricature of something. And I felt Edward's youth came out a little bit. Can Edward sing? He absolutely can sing. Was this less caricature of a previous contestant who did not make it onto the show, who still got to sing? Yes, it was less that. I said, but it was too Frank Sinatra karaoke for me. And you see, Michael even said it. Even though Michael hit the thing, because I felt like it was like obligatory. Yeah. Michael hit it and he said, y'all, I am very passionate about this genre of music. Like this has been Michael's career. Michael's become a very wealthy man because he has encapsulated this genre of music and not let it die, right? So I don't want to hear another Michael Bublé. I don't want to hear another Frank Sinatra. I don't want to hear another Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Tony Bennett. I want to hear Edward. Okay? But a very good voice nonetheless.
When someone comes on the show and they're being themselves, but you know that the themselves has influence. I'll speak for me. I try to understand how much of that is authentically them. I'll put it like this. There are some friends and brothers of Caucasian persuasion that just have a little bit more soul and a little bit more flavoring in them. And some of those brothers are just like that. Like, it's not a ruse. It's not they're trying to be something. They just got that flavor into them, right?
I mean, she'll tell you that's my best friend, who Stephanie knows very well. It's just
in him. It's just in him. He's not playing a part. It's just him.
Nope.
So once Edward presented himself the way that he did, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to think about him using that same framework, right? So, like, I was just like, he's got the soul of a 1950s gentleman living in Manhattan. Like, that's just how he presented himself.
Where is your cocktail and your cigarette?
Pretty much. His voice impressed me, though. And like you said, there was a young man who sang standards and did the crooning that did not make it. This young man was a lot more technically skilled and seemed very comfortable singing what he was singing. It was the best so far that I've heard of that particular style. And my thing is always going to be, to a certain extent, because I'm not as familiar with, I know this music. I don't know more than 3 artists that sing this music well. So it's hard for me to establish what makes each one of them different, if that makes sense. So it's very easy to sound like Frank Sinatra, or to sound like Bublé, or to sound like somebody, Dean Martin or whatever, because who else is there as a reference point? You know what I'm saying? And it's really hard when you're singing that style, I feel, to sing it in a way that does not sound like them, because that's the styling of the genre. So I was really glad that a couple chairs turned for him, and I'm really excited for his coach, because I think that his coach is the only person that's going to be able to give him the individuality and the authenticity in this genre that's specifically for Edward.
Let me articulate, I think, a perfect example of exactly what Stephanie's talking about is the now artist. I'm talking about, she is out now, today, and she's huge. Samara Joy. If you've heard Samara Joy, Samara Joy sings same genre of music.
Yes.
But it is so Samara Joy, and so not Samara Joy doing Ella Fitzgerald, or Samara Joy doing Sarah Vaughan, or Samara Joy doing Billie Holiday, or one of the other greats of those days, or Dinah Shore, or Rosemary Clooney. It is Samara Joy singing Samara Joy.
You're absolutely right.
You listen to Samara Joy on, things like when she did Terrell on the Terrell show. He has her sing everything.
Yeah.
And just like Bublé started out singing the standards, but he then ventured into his original stuff, and it sounded authentically Bublé, right? That's why I was like, dude, you are young, you are extremely talented, Edward. So I'm glad, and I hope, and I have a feeling that if you go far in this competition, Boulé's going to strip it down to build it back up. And I'm sorry, I just revealed who he picked, obviously.
That's all right. It was time for it. I mean,
don't you think, Stephanie, strip it down and build it back up?
Absolutely. There's no better coach to do that. Like, it had to be. It had to be.
Yeah. But good job, young man. It is hard to be a teenage male voice and make it on this show.
Absolutely.
Awesome job. Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, who do we have next?
Up next, we had Creigh Riepe, 32 years old, from Charlotte Courthouse, Virginia. And he sang Beautiful Things by Benson Boone.
Okay, first of all, coolest name ever on this show.
Right.
Creigh Riepe. I mean his name was cool. Oh, gosh, what do I say about Creigh? I felt like it was a great voice, completely wrong song. I said, this song, Stephanie and I, it's like a kiss of death, okay? This song is so doggone hard. It is, I mean, you are hollering on the back half of this song. And I said, I felt like the song was a little too much for him. That's a difficult song. So I immediately was like, okay, I wouldn't be mad if they didn't turn for Creigh, but Creigh, I could really hear an incredible voice in there. I said, so I cannot wait to hear what he's going to sing in future rounds. I said, but then I was like, you better turn because he brought his babies on the show, his cute little daughters on this show.
Oh my, hi, Daddy. I was like, well, they know it's a dude.
I said, don't do that. Don't do that to them babies. Don't do it.
Right.
But yeah, I want to hear Creigh sing something else. No. Don't sing this song unless you got who won 2 seasons ago. Unless you got Huntley in your voice.
Yeah, is that who sang it before? It was a Huntley song.
Did Huntley even attempt this song? Maybe
somebody did. It was either Huntley or it was Brian Olsen from last season. I can't remember who.
If it was Brian even struggled with the song. It is a hard. It's one of those songs that probably the artist even probably struggles to sing.
Like, on a bad day, shouldn't have done this.
Can't sing it because he's like, okay, I gave you 100% in the studio that day. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Difficult. It's a holleration, Stephanie.
Okay, this is interesting because it might have been the wrong song, but I think I'm gonna say it for a different reason. When he first started singing, I was like, okay, I hear 80s male ballad singer, like a Bryan Adams type guy. Okay. That's what I was hearing because there was like this pure vocal and this pure singing with this emotion behind it, very raw emotion, which lends itself well to this song. At the back end, again, like you said, he goes into his upper extension and it's sheer holleration. But I'm going to need you to listen to it with your good ears.
Okay.
I really want you to listen to this one back with your good ears because I was impressed.
Okay.
And I know how, like, knowing this song a little bit because it's been done on the show before, I was like, okay, I knew what was coming. And I was like, is he going to be able to get up there? Right? And give it the power and the emotion so that it does not sound too shrieky, because shrieky would not sound good with this young man's voice. Like it just wouldn't have.
It needs to be a controlled scream.
It needs to be a controlled scream. And I actually think that he did it effectively. And I was actually impressed. And I thought that it was actually good that he got up into his upper extension because all the rest of the song prior stayed in a lower range. Whereas if he would have stayed there, they would have told him, we didn't hear enough range from you. So, yeah, I don't love this song choice because I don't think these are the kind of songs he sings. No. I don't think this is the kind of song he should be singing.
Like if you talk about 80s ballad, I see it. I want more like Steve Winwood. I want more like Back in the High Life Again. Like I want that type of voice.
Or like a Right Here Waiting. I will be right here waiting for you. Yeah, something like that.
Day after day. Oh, that's my song.
But like he's
Richard
Marks.
Marks, yeah, Richard Marks.
But no, I want you to go back to listen to his vocal because I was just like, he could be a dark horse. Seriously, like his voice is legit.
I don't hear dark horse, but I'll tell you who's dark horse. But I didn't hear it yet, but I trust you, Stephanie, because you usually right on the money with that. Who did he pick?
So Gwen and Reba turned for him, and he picked Reba.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I thought Gwen would have been a good choice.
You know Reba gonna have him singing.
Oh, you know it. Boy, you better sing that melody. Cute as a button.
Sing the melody. Sing the melody.
All right. Who was our next contestant through?
Okay, so next up was Adam Bohanan, 40 years old, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and he sang "Home." But I know this song, but I don't know who the artist is for "Home."
I don't know who it is either. Okay. But I was like, oh no, he's not. I was like, okay, what? Star Trek, what R&B? What? Adam, what are you talking about? You'll be real, bro. I said, this dude is funny.
He's talking about all his loves and passions. All his loves and passions.
So
he's a multifaceted person.
I said, well, he's like, oh. I said, but here's the thing, Steph. Here's the thing. I didn't know at first because just like Georgia constructed a perfect audition, I thought he played it a little too safe on that first verse.
Oh, yes. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
But then, y'all, this was my first snappage of the season because he said, come on. Come on. It was over. And it was over.
Yep.
Then it was over. Over. I said, he said, home. I said, ooh, that was some grits and some, that was some, I don't know, pig's feet.
Ham hocks. Yeah.
Ham hocks.
Pigs.
I said, that was some bacon grease on the side of my grandma's sink in the tin Maxwell House can. That's was. I said, you better run. I said, it's a voice that I want to listen to over and over and over again. And Stephanie, he's my first contestant this season that I went back and listened to it twice.
Oh, you did?
Because I was like, I had caught up by then, but I hate commercials.
Right.
So I said, let me listen to that one more time. He's like, oh, and then he was killing us with those runs. And on the back of that song, I said, one of the first auditions that I cannot wait to go and put in my good ears for. Because it
was good.
I know this. I know Adam with your crazy, off-kilter, off-the-wall, nerdy, whatever you are, dirty soul self. I said, boy, if you don't sing that song, I put dirty. I said, like, dirty. I said, no, like Jamaican dirty. Like,
dirty.
I said, not dirty. I said, that's dirty. Dirty. Like, dirty wine.
Dirty.
Like, I said, that's dirty, Adam. I said, you know it's good because when they finally hit that, because I think they were waiting to see what he was going to do, and then he let you have it. They hit that thing. Carson did. Carson said, "Thank God."
I know, he's like, "Thank God."
Watch out for Carson, y'all. He knows his stuff.
He does.
Adam,
he does.
You're my dark horse. You're my dark horse because that was like hogshead cheese. That was, what was coming out your throat. You don't hear dudes running like that anymore with such, it was just such an assassinly, I made up a word, assassinly executed runs you were doing on the back half of that song. Stephanie, I can't wait to put that one back in my good ears because I know that boy was singing that song down. Steph, it's so unassuming, right?
So unassuming. He is the epitome of a wedding singer. And wedding singer might have like I don't think that it has a low quality connotation, but some people might. Y'all, you get a good wedding singer. A wedding singer are some of the best singers in the world. And this is why. And this is what I heard in Adam's voice. Just straight up eclectic. His voice can literally sing anything. He can sing rock. He can sing R&B. He can sing country. He could sing pop. Like, I could hear all of those elements in his voice just with this one song. The way he was running, sneaking in those runs at the ends of those lines, I was like, this is disrespectful. This is disrespectful.
He was disrespectful.
And please,
he was.
And please keep doing it. And please keep doing it. It was just.
Oh, what is he going to do? What is he going to do in these battles? I feel sorry for whoever's going to battle that boy. That boy is.
You better be ready. You better come prepared.
Wow.
He's going to sing it down. He's such a character. His voice is so fun to listen to. And here's another thing. The band was having a ball. And we all know that James and I will say that we can tell when the band really likes an artist because we can just tell that the band is hitting differently. And I was like, oh, they are loving him. So yeah, I can't wait to see him in the next round.
Yeah, you had me at home, Adam. You had me at home, man. You really did. Boy, I was like, boy, if you don't sing that song.
Sing it down.
Sing that song. All right, so our next contestant.
Oh, wait a minute. We have to say, mm-hmm. Adam was only a one chair turn, if I am correct.
Crazy.
He's on Team Riepe, so.
Oh, Riepe's gonna have.
I'm glad.
Dark horse, y'all. Dark horse. He's gonna be.
Dark horse.
He's gonna be our one chair turn that makes it really far.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that voice is woo.
Yes, that voice is woo.
Now he's someone who would have turned around and be like, "That sound came from him."
Right.
You know, he just
absolutely.
Joe Geek, right?
Like, right.
Self-proclaimed. Like he's like, "Yo, I'm a Trekkie. I'm a Star Trek geek."
Right.
Person who married us was dressed in Star Trek gear.
Yes.
It's great.
Yes.
Right. Let me collect myself because I am still shaking my head at this next performance.
Shooketh.
Like I'm still y'all. Anytime I look into like thin air, like anytime I'm like just looking, like first of all, I can't even imagine, Jeremy. I can't even imagine that what substance abuse has done to your family as far as ravage it.
Right.
But, I have to believe, and I know Stephanie believes the same thing, that everything happens for a reason. And I hope, and you can tell us, or you don't have to, that this helped you find your purpose.
Come on.
Despite the tragedy
mm-hmm.
that your mother and your sister have experienced. Like you said, it was like waves. It was like just boom. I kept getting the phone calls. And I just unthinkable tragedy.
Unthinkable.
So
right.
Any of you that listen and are struggling, please know that there is help.
Yes, there is.
Please know that there definitely is help out there. With that speaking, I don't even know what to say. First of all, Stephanie will tell you when this song hit the scene, I lost my shizzle. Like I lost it. Because I was like, okay, R&B. I called Stephanie screaming, I think. I was like, R&B's not good. R&B. It's a new genre of R&B. Give me me. Like, and Stephanie, I said, Stephanie, you gotta hear this song. And Stephanie said, what was that?
So what was that?
because
What was
Heartbreak
that?
Anniversary is a song I wouldn't want anyone to ever do on this show because Giveon has such a specific voice
Yes.
that it sounded fake.
Yeah.
So, young Jeremy, sir, and this is what I'm talking about. If you watch the Patreon, subscribe to our Patreon so you all can get feedback of another singer who was on tonight who talked about their accolades. And then it wasn't as strong as the accolades they came with, in my opinion. Check out the Patreon for that. Please subscribe to our Patreon.
Please subscribe.
Did Jeremy, Stephanie, let me ask you a question. Did Jeremy come with everything that he's done? Like I'm talking about like major stuff.
No.
He's like, yeah, I went to New York. I wanted to write. I said, what's crazy is that this song is so specific because the original version is done so stylistically specific. I said, this dude just took this song and made it his own, which is insane. That's like taking the Ariana Grande song and making it your own. That's how insane of an audition this was.
Right.
I said, now that's a voice. I had to go back and play it again. This is my second of the night. This is why I thought, that's like, I'm going to quit you, voice. I'm really going to quit you.
Right.
Second playback of the night for me, of this entire competition so far. We're 3 episodes in. I said, I knew exactly what song it was. When I heard that electric guitar strum at the beginning, I said, no, he's not.
Me too.
And I was so afraid. I was so afraid he was not going to be he was going to be a zero chair turn. I was so afraid because I was like, oh, is he singing? Is he really coming on here singing Heartbreak Anniversary? I was like, it's like hearing the beginning. It's like hearing the opening guitar riff of like Tennessee Whiskey, right?
Yes. You know it.
What song this is. And I said, let me tell you, I said, this band is giving. I said, with the simplicity of it all, because you heard that hard guitar riff, but then you heard, and I said, the second this young man opened his mouth, I said, it's over.
It's over.
I said, it's done. Done for the evening. I don't need to hear anymore. I said, you are going to know. Jeremy is so good and he's so original. Every time this boy he will sing the ABCs, he will sing the dictionary, he will sing whatever. Every time this young man opens his mouth, you're going to know whose voice it is. You don't even need to be on the TV. You're going to be like,
right.
Like Kim Cruz, like
right.
Nene, like
right.
The list goes on, like Lennon.
Lennon, yes.
One of those voices that every time, like, you just need not even 2 seconds, Stephanie, right? Not even 2 seconds.
Right.
I said, any song on any genre, Jeremy, like Blue Ray said, he's like, dude, I am going to turn on the radio and lip sync to your voice.
Come on.
He was like so like humble about it too.
Yes.
Like, Michael Bublé was like known as one of the voices.
Yes.
He said he's going to lip sync to your voice. He's a singer, y'all. He's a singer. Stephanie.
Oh my goodness! Just like
I couldn't wait to hear your feedback on this one because I know you love this song. I know you like. He's not about to sing this song.
Just like you, when I heard that intro, I was like, oh no!
I said, uh-oh.
That's what I said. I said, uh-oh.
Because you knew exactly what it was, didn't you?
Because I knew exactly what it was. And we have already heard this song done immaculately on the show by Michael B. and Riley Tate a few seasons back. And I was just like, come on, brother. Come on, brother. So as he's singing, I'm like, oh my gosh. This is the first thing I wrote. I said, this is ooey gooey. This
Yeah.
is ooey gooey. It just felt like toffee. It felt so sweet, so rich, so thick. And then as he kept singing, I was like, wait, this would be as if Josh Groban sang this song.
It's better than Josh.
But it was the same quality and tone. It had that same theater thickness of it. That same
thickness. Well, I'm stealing that.
Yeah, it's that same theater thickness, but with an R&B leaning and edge to it. When that young man did the falsetto, I was like, and it was like a ramp up to it. Like it was like he had us on the edge of our seat.
Like straight up.
And when he went up there, I was like, take your time, sir. Take your time. And he said, every time. I said, Jesus. Like, this young man was singing with a purpose. He was singing on a mission. He was singing with a passion. And it was just gorgeous. It was just gorgeous. It was so delicious. It was just, it was so good. It was so good.
It's going to be one of those singers. I was like, okay, here comes the battle. Battle's already on. Before he opens his mouth. Like if I hear this
before he opens his mouth.
Battle's over.
Ooh, it was so good.
Like whoever sings against him, I'm already apologizing because it's
sorry.
It's like I remember the young gentleman who sang up against Kim Cruz. He sang his face off, but it was Kim Cruz.
Can't do nothing.
Young lady up against Asher. We love you. I was like, she should have made it.
Alyssa.
But it was Asher, and I just was like,
yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Right.
What are you gonna do? So far I only put him up against one other person. We'll talk about that person, but
okay,
we're not gonna battle.
Okay. So Jeremy was a 4-chair turn, as he should have been, and he is on Team Buble. Go ahead, Michael.
Go
ahead, Michael.
Well, I think that. Michael's he's a good pitch. He's a good pitch guy too. When he's not lying. When Michael was like, "Yo, I'm gonna lip sync to your voice on my radio," I said, "Okay, he won." If somebody
won.
That, like somebody
he won.
An established singer like Michael Bublé, I'd be like, "Okay, you're my
right."
I just think Bublé is going to have a field day in a good way. Going to have a field day with his voice.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just going to be. Like I think they're not going to be able to get through rehearsal because they're just going to start singing together, kind of like John was with Mac, Mac Royal, just like John was with Mac. Like he's like, oh wow, I sing with you,
right?
Yeah, it was crazy,
crazy.
Woo! Huge pickup for Bublé, huge. All right, so our next contestant is a contestant that I quickly sped through because he initially did not get a turn, 4 chairs or any turns. Our youngest contestant so far, Mr. Jaylen Dunham, who sang "Listen" from Dreamgirls, Beyonce's big song from Dreamgirls.
Yes.
You know what, Stephanie? I was. The reason why I'm gonna tell you I was disappointed. I wasn't disappointed. I was disappointed for nature. I was disappointed for puberty because if you're, if you're of the male gender and you had a voice very young, puberty will wreak havoc on your voice.
Right.
And you just don't know, like all of a sudden you gotta just start singing in completely different keys. It feels all wrong. It sounds all wrong. You got to relearn your voice. Every male identifying has to relearn their voice when they hit. Yeah, you just have to. Yeah, and I just felt like it was a very bad because, again, I'm a little bit more forgiving when somebody talks about their accolades when they're super young, like because if you've been on something like Showtime at the Apollo and you won it, then you can sing. And
yes, you can.
I was like, okay, Jaylen can sing, but I just think Jaylen is trying to discover his 14 going on 30-year-old voice now. Because you could tell it recently dropped or was in literally the process of dropping.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought he handled it safely.
Mm-hmm.
Where probably he used to, I'm sure a year before, he used to wail, probably maybe even 6 months before, he used to wail on that song. You could hear it in the voice.
1000%.
He could wail.
1000%.
So what's
1000%.
your take on Jaylen? I know you know this song very well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, first of all, when he said that he won on the Apollo, I was like, well, I know you can sing because Apollo don't play. Okay. They are not forgiving. They'll carry you 14. If you can't sing, they will usher you off the stage. So the fact that he won Apollo, I was like, okay, this young man can sing. When he was in the lower register of his voice, I was like the control of it all. I was so impressed with the control and the maturity of his sound. And then exactly like when he started getting into the upper parts of the song, I thought he handled it really well because there is almost a lack of control that you have when your voice is in that season, which is so unfortunate. And I almost am afraid for him to be in this competition, if I'm being truthful, because I hope that they pick songs for him where he can navigate where his voice is and what his voice is doing. And being in this competition in the middle of a voice change is rough. So I really, really hope that his coach is really smart with her song choices for him going forward.
Yes.
When his mother was saying, "My baby didn't get no chairs," I was like, NBC's The Voice, please don't ruin this show for me. Please don't ruin it. But I also knew that Gwen was thinking about doing her coach replay button because in a segue to another segment or into commercial, she had mentioned it. So when she found out how young he was and found out who was actually singing, I was like, she won't push this button because NBC's The Voice is not going to do this to me on tonight. Right. They're not going to ruin the show. So I'm so glad that Gwen used her coach's replay button for Jaylen, and we get to see more of him in the competition.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I don't know where your voice is today, Jaylen, because it's been some time since but hopefully you are making that transition as smooth as possible.
Absolutely.
Just from personal experience, it is traumatic, but you will make it through, and your voice will soar again as it once did. Maybe not quite like you remember it, but it will definitely soar again. So you just keep sticking with it, keep vocalizing in those lower registers, so you can get more comfortable with where your voice is settling into. But I know how hard it is. I really do. Okay, awesome. Who do we have next?
So next up, we have a duo. We have Leah and Sav. They are called MisterMoon from Nashville, Tennessee, and they sang "Deeper Well" by Casey Musgraves.
First of all, I love their name. I love that. I think MisterMoon, like the name. I said
yes.
Oh, yes. I just love the purity of their sound.
This was it.
It's almost Indigo Girls-esque.
Come on.
I feel like folk rock is exactly who you are, just like one of them said. I said, they have those voices like they really seem like they have something to say, Stephanie.
Come on. Yes,
like
absolutely.
Politically Bob Dylan, like a song blowing in the wind, like where you really are saying something. I have a feeling like they have voices that are so pure, but are perfect protest voices.
Oh, absolutely. Come on.
I'm just thinking of those types of voices where it's just so pure, but it's so solid, and they're
pure and powerful.
Their connection in harmony. That's what got the chair turns.
Yes.
When they went into harmony.
Yes.
It was just done at such ease.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. So the minute they opened up their mouths and started singing, I could tell, because for a while they were singing in unison together until they broke out into their parts. I could tell that the judges could not really tell whether it was one voice or two. And if you going to be doing the duo thing, if you're going to be doing the duo trio multi-person thing on this here, The Voice, that is how it needs to sound. And I closed my eyes for a minute, and their voices together, you almost could not tell that they were two different voices. It was so sonically connected that when they split off into their parts, it was like, it was magical because it was the same sound, but just different vocal parts. And it was like one flower, and when the petal split, and then the petal came back together, and the petal split, and the petals came back together. And you never knew when they were going to split into harmonies or come back to unison. It was surprise after surprise, but it wasn't in a way where it was like pow, 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 pow. It was so peaceful and so, I don't know another word other than peaceful. And it was not disruptive, but it was so beautiful and so powerful. There was a joy to their singing that I really, really enjoyed. And they better go far. They better go far. Yeah. That was scary good. It was scary good.
Yeah, that unison. Ooh. One voice.
One voice.
Who they wind up picking?
So Snoop and Reba both turned for them. And it was really interesting because before they went to perform, they said that they wanted to be on Team Reba. And then Snoop got his Snoop towel, like the terrible towels that the Steelers do. Yeah. And all the audience had their Snoop towels, and they ended up picking Snoop, which I am very interested in that choice because I really think that Reba would have been the best for them, being as that she was in a group, knows the group sound and all of that. So I'm really interested to see how Snoop is going to help them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think another huge pickup, an eclectic pickup that Snoop, I think, is just going to really just thrive on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you can tell Snoop has a very eclectic taste in music.
Absolutely.
People understand. I'm going to do a 15-second history lesson. A lot of early hip hop or rap music was sampled from older music. So you had to have a music acumen of death to match up the perfect song to your rap song.
Absolutely.
Kind of like the beat or the tune that went to your rap song. So that's why Snoop knows his stuff, y'all. He knows his stuff.
For sure.
Okay, great pickup. Who is next?
So next up was Tate Renner, 24 years old, from Nashville, Tennessee. And he sang Hurricane by Luke Combs.
Okay, so Tate, I need you to take this and really listen to what I'm about to tell you. I said, Tate, you can sing. Ain't no shadow of a doubt. You can sing. I said, but I feel like we've heard this voice many, 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 many times on The Voice. I want to know what you can do to stand out on this show. We have a ton of strong male country singers on this season.
Right.
And I don't want you to get lost because I think you're really talented. Watch that you don't give too much grit, I put, because it takes away from the quality of your gorgeous voice. I want to hear what you sound like without the grit. I think if you add a little grit, and then pull it back, kind of like Georgia did, kind of like Adam did. If you do that, I think it would be a lot more effective. I want to hear you sing without the grit because I think that is your real voice. I think it came off. It didn't sound. It came off a little manufactured because I felt like you stayed in the grit too long, and your voice to me didn't naturally sound like it wanted to stay there. If that makes sense.
It makes sense. I said it was kind of ironic that that the name of this song was Hurricane, because that's exactly how his voice sounded. His voice sounded like a storm. His voice sounded like a hurricane. The thing that I thought was interesting was that his voice stayed there the entire time.
It did.
So could it be that that is really his voice?
Could be.
Because it did not waver. It like literally stayed there the entire song, to the point where I was like, I think he just has this vocal damage storm sounding voice.
See, I don't think he does. I don't think he does. That's why I want to hear it without it.
I mean, we've only seen Mr. Tate once, so time will tell. Time will tell. I don't know. I found it interesting and really cool that he went to Belmont. We all know what Belmont is. Belmont, if you go into Belmont, you finna sing something. Like he said, if you walking around there and you can't play a guitar, you are of the minority. So I really liked the character and the storm in his voice, that storyteller grit. And I'm more interested now that you've said what you've had to say, James, to hear what he sounds like in the next round. So we'll see.
Yeah. So who did he pick?
So there, 3 coaches turned for him. Michael Bublé, Reba, and Snoop turned for him, and he picked Reba. I believe Tate was the one that was the redhead. So yes. Redheads unite.
Made it a point, and this be real.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Great. So our final contestant of the night is Frankie Torres.
Yes. And did you know, James, I bet you didn't know, she was actually leaked today as well. They leaked her today.
The whole thing?
No, they did not show who turned for her. Well, so it was about a minute of her performance.
The first and the last one leaked.
Yes.
She sang Magic Man, y'all. Heart.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a lesser known. Is not. If you're a Heart fan, you know this song. I would say this.
I don't know this. I did not know this song, and I am a Heart fan.
This is This is like their second biggest hit, right? That's why all the artists, even Snoop, knew the song. So I said, "Oh, Fizzle, she's gonna sing Magic Man." So if you know. Alone, you know it's Ann Wilson, who is arguably the greatest female rock voice of all time.
Holleration. So
you know if it's an Ann Wilson Heart song, it's going to be I love the song because you don't know where it's going to go. I love it.
Sure don't.
Is this young lady really standing here singing effortlessly, like almost pacing the stage? I said, that was scary.
Sure enough.
That was scary.
Scary.
She's my scary horse, right? I said, it reminds me of Nene, the contestant Nene. I said, the effortless sounds coming from her throat. I remember we would just sit there with our mouths open with Nene, like, is she really doing it right now? And just standing there and just standing there. But there were times when I felt like Nene would sing like with her guts, like out. Frankie, little Miss Frankie, I said, y'all don't know how hard this song is. This song is like of the highest level caliber. I said, she's walking around stage looking like she's just chewing gum. Like it was just
chilling.
It's a Monday.
It's just another day.
It's just I said, it's crazy that sound comes out of her like that without, it almost is like she doesn't even think about it. Like this is just a naturally God-given instrument that just does what it does. And she just literally opens her mouth and, subconsciously like tells the sound what to sing. It was just crazy.
Absolutely.
I said, girl, you better do it. I said, you better do Prince proud, coming from Manitoba, Minnesota. And
I know that's right.
Y'all know the reference, like Minnetonka.
Yes.
You're a true Prince fan. You know, if you know
yes,
the
reference. You are. Yes.
Stephanie, I want to hear her sing everything. I want to hear her sing everything.
I wrote down she's elite.
Yeah.
It was an elite audition. I didn't know the song, but having been able to hear it earlier today, I was like, this song is hard and it's rangy, which is, makes for a really great audition song if you can execute. And like you said, she was executing like it was nothing, and not saying that there wasn't a performance aspect, not to say that it was lazy, not to say anything about the performance as if it was lacking, but it just seemed like it was so easy for her. And those coaches would take in way too long to turn. I was like, what y'all waiting on? Because I know y'all hear what I hear. You probably hearing it better than what I hear. I don't want to understand what's taking y'all so long to turn. I do not understand. There was
on my hand, I would have hit that thing so fast.
Oh, I know. She had everything. She has everything in her throat. She's got storyteller. She's got pop. She's got rock. I bet you she could do R&B. And I know I heard a yodel. I was like, dang, girl. It was just, and we know. We know the pattern of this show, that they're usually going to close with a strong person. And I was so glad to see that in the end, she did get a 4-chair turn, which was well deserved and should have come much earlier than what it did.
Who'd she wind up going with? Or did they cliffhanger it?
Gwen. Gwen
just got like top 3 singers so far. Like she got.
Yes, she did.
She really did.
Yes, she did.
What an evening!
It was good, y'all.
Quit you voice. I'm not like I told Stephanie earlier today, y'all. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I was still at work. It was like 6:00. I was still at work.
6:00.
I was like, oh, Stephanie's like, you want? I said, no. Because I just love this show so much, and I love doing this with you, Stephanie, every week. So I was like, no, I can't. I'm gonna push through.
Listen. They better come with it tomorrow night. Now, this is the first week that, since season 26 has premiered, that we have had 2 nights of the show. Mm-hmm. And usually what they have done is they have had Tuesday night be only an hour. Y'all, it's 2 hours tomorrow night. It's 2 hours. I think what they're trying to do is close the blinds between this week and next week. Okay. I think blinds will be over by the end of next Tuesday. That's what I'm thinking, based on something Snoop said as well, that the teams were almost halfway full or something to that effect. Y'all better not disappoint me tomorrow night, voice. Let me tell you, you better not disappoint. Y'all better come with the same amount and the same quality of vocal as y'all came with tonight, especially if we're going to devote another 2 hours to this show.
Please. I can't have what happened last week, boys. I will quit you.
No.
Even though
quit. No, you won't. Not this season. No, you won't.
They need to know, Stephanie.
So don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Pitchy Podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode. Also, check us out on YouTube. Search for The Pitchy Podcast and hit that subscribe button so you know when we drop a new video. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Pitchy Podcast for new episode alerts, episode clips, and so much more. And last, we are on Patreon. We have bonus content within the main feed, and we also have exclusive content like our initial reactions right after the episode, our thoughts about the Friday leaks, and so much more. For more info, check out our Patreon highlight on our IG page, and check out our Linktree link on our IG bio and the show notes if you want to join us on Patreon. It's less than a venti coffee. See, I can't even say it right. At Starbucks, $5 a month to get all of that content just for you. We keeps the 100 over on the Patreon. So come and join us. And thank you to all of you who already have.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.